If you have a 4th gen RAV4, then you already know that the head unit is pretty outdated. We've already gone ahead and updated this head unit with a universal head unit from CarPlay, and while it works great, the installation was long and tedious. So if you're looking to upgrade your head unit with something a little simpler, today we're going to be installing a plug-and-play head unit from ASURE. Now this head unit is specifically for the 2013 to 2018 RAV4s. So if you're looking for a simple upgrade in your RAV4, go ahead and follow along and check it out. So you may have noticed that I did remove the actual screen portion from the previous head unit. However, if you didn't have that head unit, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. The very first thing that you're going to be doing is removing this silver trim piece right on top right here. Remove this next. Now all you have to do is lift underneath this black piece right here and pry it out, and it comes right out. There we go, and I'm just gonna lift it and set it up right here. Now we're gonna be removing the vents. Now this again is just going to be prying out. Last time I remember that we did this, I did have to work down the side, which is what I just did. For the aftermarket radio, I do have to go ahead and just pull off this fascia right here, but it's all just pulling and nothing too bad. Now we have to go ahead and remove these 4 10mm bolts. So now these connections that I'm about to disconnect are actually going to be different from the ones that you are going to have to do if you have the factory radio. So if you want to know how to do that one specifically, then you're gonna have to go check out the link that's in the description below for our previous RAV4 video. And our old head unit is free and we're ready to go ahead and start working on the new one. So the first thing that we have to go ahead and do is there's 2 different pieces that actually create like a bezel for this to fit into the new fascia. Now it does come with like a universal kit, so there is a lot of different screws to pay attention to. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this thicker piece right here. So you want it it goes in slightly, it has a very small taper. So you want the wider part to be at the top, the shorter part to be at the bottom. So that part is all done. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next part, which is going to be this fascia piece right here. Now this came in the box with the original screen. You just wanna make sure that you line it up to fit correctly. It fits only one way. And there's no screw holes to really hold this into place. So this is actually just gonna get squished with our next piece. The new fascia from the new box that we have here is what's going to be squishing that piece into place. And this is what makes this RAV4 specific. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn it over, and you will feel it. It fits right into place perfectly. And now there's these 4 holes right here that you're gonna go ahead and screw into. After we installed these last 4 screws, what we're going to be installing next are going to be these alignment pins. They do have very specific holes on the back that help you figure out exactly where to put them, because where they screw in at has those same matching holes. So you just line it up. You can see that it goes straight. And then we are going to go ahead and use the black screws that it came with. These are really itty bitty screws, so keep that in mind. That one is on, so now we're going to do the other side, lining it up. So these notches right here are cut out to go ahead and attach to the notches that are right here on the side. So it'll be just like that. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So the next thing we have to do is we actually have to go ahead and transfer over our AC vents to the new fascia. So the way that we're gonna do this is there are these clips right here that all I'm gonna do is gently lift up and kind of pull. 3 and 4. And there we go, that vent piece is now free for us to go ahead and install it. It says right-hand side, but it's right-hand side when looking at it. So this should just click right in. Okay. There we go. That is now all clicked into place. Now the next thing I'm gonna have to do is there are these yellow clips on here. I need to transfer these over to these pieces right here. There we go. So there we go. So I will show you that tip that I just used that made it super easy. There are 2 clips, as you can see in here, ones that lock into the bottom and then ones that lock like in the middle. So you need to try to release these ones in the middle and hold it open to be able to get both sides. So I took a flathead screwdriver and instead of putting it down here, I actually kind of went in the side here where I knew that other clip was, and I just kind of stuck it through. Took another flathead and it launched out over here, so be careful with that. But I do now have my 2 clips. They get installed right on this piece first, like that, and then right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So we went ahead and transferred over those clips. On this side right here, there was only one place to attach a clip to. There's nothing on the side here. Then the next thing that we were doing is we were removing the clips from the old stock fascia to go ahead and apply them to the new fascia. Now, we did accidentally have one shoot off and disappear, which is why you see one yellow one. That's from the previous air vents, and that's because we didn't have to use all of them. They're the same clip, just a different color, so it's not gonna matter. But I'm gonna go ahead and just stick these on. And there we go. Next, we will be installing the harness into the RAV4. One thing to keep in mind is these are all keyed a certain way. So if you try to fit one in and it doesn't go, then it doesn't belong there. There we go. That was nice and easy, so we know that belongs. There is an additional harness here that we're not gonna be using. Maybe you would use this if you have a different version of the RAV4 sound system. Yeah, that one fit right in. But I did notice that this fits right into here, like perfectly. So I'm going to clean this surface right here. You can see it's pretty dusty because we are going to be sticking 2 different antennas, one up here and one down here. So I'm just using some alcohol and a shop towel to go ahead and wipe it down. So I will remove the protective paper and go ahead and stick it to the surface. So the next antenna, we're going to put it underneath, just like that. The reason we are placing the antennas where we are is because there are no metal pieces above it, which would block the signal from both of these. So I brought the screen into the RAV4. I'm gonna start making connections. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is this right here. Now the radio antenna is in there. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the GPS and the 4G antenna. And these are the kinds where you have to kind of push and then also screw it in. I'm gonna do the same thing with the GPS antenna. So this black connector right here is gonna go right here for the power. So now we're gonna go ahead and install this SIM card adapter. This is a pretty big pin, so I already know that it's gonna go right in here. And now that one is in there. So in my hand, I have the last 3 plugs for the back of the screen. We have this first one, which is a 4-pin, which is going to be for a USB. Okay. Then we have a 6-pin, which is also a USB. So this one just went in. If you do struggle to get these in, just try pushing on the clamp and it does help settle it a little bit better. So the last one is going to be our backup camera adapter. And now all of our plugs are in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of check the ends of each of these. Like I know that this yellow is going to go to camera. Well, this one's not plugged in. This one is. So I'm going to assume it goes to that one. I do have the external mic right here that came with it. So I am going to go ahead and plug this in. Now there is one specific port that says mic. So that is where I'm going to go ahead and plug this in at. Just to make it easy, we're probably going to just find a way to attach it right here. So before we push it in and finish the installation, we do want to go ahead and test everything. So I'm going to show you how we went through the settings and made sure everything worked correctly. So this is the home screen right here set right now. We're going to go to settings, and the password to actually access the factory settings is 3368. It says this in the manual, but that just makes it a little easier. And now from here, you actually will have to go and set in your car model. Now for us, we had to go ahead and click, you have to click a CAN box type first. So we clicked the RZC or RAVE. For some reason that pulled up this. I'm not entirely sure, but that is what it said in the actual instruction booklet. Toyota RAV4, we clicked the year that we have. We do not have the AMP version. So from here, now everything should work and function with my steering wheel, which it does. So if I go ahead and do voice assistance. Hey Google. There's volume right here that's working correctly. And then if I actually go and change like the fan speed down here on the buttons, you will actually see it adjusting on the screen right here as well. The last thing I'm going to be testing before we go ahead and finish up the installation is the backup camera. So I'm going to go ahead and put my foot on the brake. Let's go ahead and put this car in reverse and see what happens. There we go. I believe there might be a setting. I'm going to look into it to see if we can get rid of these extra lines. So now it's time to do some cable management. We are going to be doing that by this really long cord right here is actually just the microphone cord. So I am going to just zip tie this to itself. After I do that, then the antenna cords, I'll go ahead and do the same thing and probably attach it up here just to keep them up and out of the way. Put this back into place first. Okay. Okay. So what I just did is I just popped out the top clips because the way that this was sitting, it has to go almost underneath there. So once I have it lined it up with the hazard button up at the top, I lined it up where the vent clips went under. And then instead of trying to push on the vent clips and then push on this, I pushed on this piece to push everything into place. After this ASURE head unit is all installed, we now have essentially an Android head unit, or it acts almost as an Android tablet. So what you see right here is you have different apps down here that you can access. If you wanted to go to the Play Store, you could go and download different apps and run it natively. Or for instance, if you wanted to watch YouTube, you can do that through here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you will need some kind of data connection for this. So that's why they have the SIM card, or you could go ahead and just use a mobile hotspot. We were just attached to our house Wi-Fi for the moment. We also have some native features down here at the bottom, a native Bluetooth that you can connect to your phone if you didn't want to do Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. There is a radio function. And then we have EQ, which is our equalizer. So we have DSP, we have ASP here, and then we also have the field settings all available to us. And then we have video, which is it's supposed to be like downloaded content or from an SD card or something like that. This is just something that they had on here to show that you can do a video. So these are all of our apps right here that come natively to the head unit. You might have noticed that the background is Toyota. Now that was something that we set up. It didn't come onto the actual head unit itself. You're able to do that by downloading the picture that you want, going through gallery, and then choosing the photo that you want for your background. So this app store right here is different from like the Play Store. This is where you can go ahead and update any of the apps that come native to the actual head unit itself. And you're also able to change the themes. Once you first install the head unit, it's not going to have a phone connected to it. The way to do this is you're going to go to the Bluetooth app. And you see mine opens up to music first, but if you look right here, there's a little phone icon. You can go to there and then you would be able to add your device by searching for it. It'll pop up right here. You will click it and it'll pair up here, now making it available to be connected to CarLink. And then you'll have your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay. There are some settings that you're going to have to change yourself. For instance, for us, the kilometers per hour. So I'm going to show you how to change that. We go into settings and from here we go into factory, typing in that code that is in the instruction manual, 3368. Up at the top too, you can see that it is set to Celsius. We use Fahrenheit because we are in America. So I changed that. The other thing that we went ahead and took off was they had a built-in reverse parking line that we turned off because this backup camera already has a parking line built in. And right here is where you can find that mileage unit switching. Right now it's set to kilometers, so we're gonna go ahead and change it to miles. After living with the new head unit for a little while, we did struggle with a few different things. So the very first thing that we struggled with is actually what you can see here. The screen itself is completely black on startup. Now, if I go and touch the screen, then it'll wake up, and actually I can kind of see that it's not completely black. It's really like dim. Now if I touch it, it comes to life no problem. But we want it to instantly start up without any issues. So the way that you're gonna do this is you're actually gonna go to settings, and then you're gonna go to system. After you go to system, what you're going to look for is you are going to look for developer option, okay? Which is right here. Now this is one that also has that same code, so 3368, and it'll let you into this option right here. Now, you can see right here, stay awake. Screen will never sleep when charging. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that on, and we're gonna hope that basically what that means is once the car is turned off, it'll go off, and then once the car turns on, it'll instantly kick on. This is very specific. If you want a specific boot screen when the screen actually turns on, then you can go through this process. If you're fine with the way that it is, then you wouldn't have to worry about this. So there's a few things you need to know when it comes to doing the boot logo. One of the requirements is the image resolution must be 1920 by 1200. And the second one is the format must be in BMP, and the USB drive folder must be named My Car. All of these are super specific to this head unit itself, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to get the correct setup that you want. So from here, we're going to go into settings, and we go to factory. From the factory, we have to type in that code again, 3368, confirm. And then from there, we go to the boot screen logo, right here. From here, that you would insert the USB drive, and then the pictures will show up either here, or you'll go to the right here, and it'll show up right here. And then if you have that image that you like, you're gonna press and hold that image to go ahead and make that your logo screen for the boot up. So last night we were playing around with the theme right here, and the hard thing is we really weren't liking a lot of the themes that they had because they didn't seem super accessible. We wanted to go back to the original theme because it had the words and everything down here that made it a little bit more accessible. So we can now figure it out through going through settings, going through factory again. Now when you click factory, it's gonna ask you for that code again. Now from here, you're gonna find the home launcher selection. Home launcher selection right here, right? The default code is actually the UI28. There is the original theme that we had. There's one thing though to keep in mind, and that is that these display screens, these themes, are not customizable. So like one thing we didn't like was we did not like this like sport car here. You can't change that. Really the only thing you could do is if you wanted to add a widget down here. Let's say we want to add, I don't know, Chrome. Okay, I can add those there, change those out, but if I were to like tap this or try to change this, it doesn't do anything. The only thing it does is changes from kilometers to miles per hour. The other thing I'm noticing, actually funny enough, is that our clock is off. I thought I fixed this yesterday, but I'm going to just show you really quickly how to fix this again. Go into settings, go down to system, and you go to date and time. You come up here to time, you click the time, and you're gonna have to manually reset it. And that shows off all of the cool features that this head unit does have. So if you're interested in getting one of these for yourselves, we're gonna go ahead and leave the link down in the description below. If you're more interested in a universal head unit, we do have a video about installing one of those as well. You can just go ahead and click that video right here. And thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a great one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.